I'm going to do something that is out of the ordinary. The thing that I'm going to do that is out of the ordinary is this time around on this episode, I will be reading all comments. I'll be reading the comment section.
Shit.
Yeah, I will be reading
them. It's been 3-4 years and you've never done that.
Nah, I do not read the okay, that's the truth and a tiny bit of a lie. And I wouldn't even say it's a lie. It's only like sometimes I might check like a recent 5 or whatever, but not, and it's very rare.
Yeah.
It depends on like an episode just to see. Just like the vape. Yeah, see, like when we did the 12 things men fear and didn't talk about, I wanted to just see that one a tiny bit. Do you understand what I'm saying? But sometimes what I do is I just gauge things by what people send to me directly, or like what people Insta snap or Snapchat or whatever it is. Like sometimes people take clips or whatever, and then I see kind of what like people, what resonates with them, whatever. This time around, I'm gonna read them, but I also want to say this as well, that like there's some questions that I'm gonna ask today, that I'm not gonna, even when I ask them, they're not for you to have the answer. So don't feel like you have to have an answer. But I'm gonna ask them, and it will be interesting to see the response of gang. And what I would ideally like as well, so you don't have to do this on YouTube or wherever there are comment sections. I know Spotify and iTunes and all that don't have them, but you can send it to me personally. But what I would ideally like is, for whatever question I ask, I want you to write the question and then your answer. Yeah? Does that make sense? Because I just feel like it would be easier for me to gauge what it is that you're responding to. So, I want to learn some shit. One of the reasons why I decided to do this podcast anyway, or to have a podcast like this, is because as much as we sit and have conversations about a lot of things, I do want to learn stuff. I do want to try to make an understanding of things. And I've said a lot of the time that I feel like at this point in life, I'm questioning a lot of things and I'm trying to do more unlearning. I feel like I'm doing more unlearning than I am learning, and that is literally the truth. There's bare things that, like, you know, I've said before when I used to hear people talking about certain things here, like, so for example, like I might hear women talking about certain things and it would bun me a little bit, like, fuck you talking, like I'm trying to diss the man them and that. Do you get what I'm saying? But the thing is, it was in me because, you know what, certain things that you were saying were true. And that was me. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I said that, or I had that way of thinking or whatever. Yeah. And so my reaction to that may not be me swinging up, going on the Twitter and you lot making up all this. No, I don't do that. But in my heart, it makes me feel some type of way. Yeah. And then I'm kind of like, nah, why do I feel like that, man? I got to like, and then I realize, you know, it's a bit wrong still, like, man. Yeah. You got to have conversations and stuff like that, But also, what I want to say is as well, before I even do any more unpacking, is that in regards to the whole Wiley situation, Wiley's behavior and how he acted on like social media, his behavior, I don't agree with. I didn't agree with a lot of the things that he was saying, and I didn't agree with his behavior. Like the way that he was, like, there was just, I remember going on Twitter, and I'm seeing him say certain things. I'm like, rah, that's mad, whatever. I come out, then I go back in and he's at the top. He's still saying he's at the top. And then I'm reading that and I'm like, rah, this is nuts. And then I come out and then I go back in Twitter again and he's at the top. There. He's constantly at the top. Like, he's constantly at the top and he's got a lot to say. And, you know, one of my first thinkings of this was, honestly, in my lifetime, I've never seen an attack like this. Yeah, from a person towards Jewish people, from my perspective. Yeah. I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen somebody go on Twitter and do that.
Verbally just go publicly ham.
Ham, bro. Some of the things he said, I laughed out loud because they were so outrageous.
I have never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that. What he did do was open up conversation and dialogue on certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get to a point in a bit. I feel like there's one thing that we have as people. Someone messaged me one time and recently and was like, oh, you know, black people have there's like an issue between black people and Jews and whatever and whatnot. Yeah. And I can't tell you whether that is true or not, but what I can tell you is, from my perspective, is that I feel that with the human race, we all have an issue with stereotypes. Yeah. We all have an issue with stereotypes. We all have these mad stereotypes about all these people from all over the place or whatnot. And sometimes we forget that within the stereotype that you're calling all people, there are actually pockets of people that are very different to the people that you are talking about. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, sometimes some of these stereotypes don't have elements of truth in them or whatever, but like it's not an everyone thing, because it's like, or you know,
or it's an old age argument. Like it's an old generational kind of argument. That's where it stemmed from. Yeah, that stereotype is so old school way of thinking. About something.
100%.
That hasn't been updated.
100%. So to start, I'm gonna be open and transparent about certain things that I learned when I was young. Yeah, and like my mindset and how it made me think and feel when I was told certain things. Yeah. So, and this is in context of this whole situation of what's going on. So when I was young, I remember like being in environments like, let's say, you know, Northwest London, South London, like elements of North London or whatnot. And like elements of that environment where I'm seeing a lot of people that look like me, going through a lot of the same things that we were all sort of going through, even though my experience was a little bit different to say poets, or maybe even yours. Yeah. Because I grew up in I went to school with a predominantly white demographic. Yeah. So I had to deal with like certain direct elements of racism and all of these type of things. Yeah. But, you know, going to my granny's yard now, or going out with granny or whatnot now, we might go to Halsden now, get a bun and cheese. You get what I'm saying? Some callaloo, ackee and saltfish. You understand what I'm saying?
Real culture.
What?
Seeing that real culture in England.
That's exactly. All go and go to Mr. Patty and go and get a box of them. A box of patties, right? Go and get a rascal Guinness punch and them type of things. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Might go down there and go and get me some ackee and saltfish, and you know what I mean? Go and get the meat. You know when you go down to go and get the meat now, go get the cow foot. Yeah?
Cow foot soup and that.
Cow foot soup and that. Yeah? Lamb. Yeah? Mutton, all them things, yeah? With granny. Yeah. Anyone who knows, that's how you go like Shepherd's Bush Market, you could go to the meat shop because they have a specific place where you go and get your meat from or whatnot. Go and get your fish now. You know what I mean? Or you might go and get you might have some Rasta man in the family. Ital food, because them man are vegans from early. Yeah? Right? Anyway now, then you might go to a next area to go and pick up a little something else. So as you venture to the next area now, you might pass an area like Golders Green or Hampstead or something like that. And I remember like going through them areas and like it being told to me, like I look around, I see the nice houses because I'm not used to seeing those. So I go and see the nice houses or whatever, and then so, you know, a family member or an older or whoever would just say to me, "Oh, this is a Jewish area. This is like where Jewish people live or whatever it may be." Yeah. So I'm like, right, okay, right, this is nice or whatnot. And then it would also be told to me like, okay, this is what can happen when you stick together. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you stick together and you have good community spirit and all of these type of things, you can start living like that. This is what you can achieve. Elements of that's what success looks like. Do you understand what I'm saying? And ultimately, for me personally, there was an element of that was inspiring. And I'll tell you why it was inspiring, because I also grew up at a time where people used to say to me, can't do business with black people. They're lazy. Yeah. They're rude. Untrustworthy. They ain't got no business acumen. All of these type of things. So for me, it was like, when I'm hearing, black people are this and black people are that, we are one of the main ones. We don't stick together. Black people don't stick together. They don't like doing things together. Yeah, they're so fucking stupid, blah, blah. I grew up hearing those type of things as well. So to me, I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. If we take our fingers out of our ass, then we could maybe have this and do that and have this and do that or whatever it may be. So to me, there was an element of it inspiring me when I was younger. As I've got older and had conversations with certain people or whatnot, and tried to understand like different people's journeys and stuff like that, I started to understand that, hold on, I could see why this could be problematic. Because we're saying essentially that every single person that comes from that community is all living like that.
When it's not
like that.
The case,
there are actually Jewish people who don't have money. There are, different pockets of Jewish people that do not live like that and have that. So having the conversation about anti-Semitism, is an interesting one, because you start to realize that at a point, even though I understand that the Jewish history goes a lot deeper and longer, far back than the Holocaust, I also understand that there was an element of that way of thinking where you grouped all of these people together thinking that they're all these type of ways and they're all corrupt, and you've got a family who's running a banking system or whatever it may be, and now everyone thinks that they're all like that. It's like, yo, we need to kill everyone off. I could easily see in life how that would become sensitive to people, because it's like, if I came from a place now where I had loads of family members and stuff who died because people had a certain ideology that we all had this and we all had that. And when I go out and I hear somebody say, you all this and you all that and you all, to me, that would strike a chord, because I would feel like, when that happened the last time, how X amount of people died. But there was people that came out and felt like there were communities that didn't speak out as much as they would have liked them to when Wiley was saying what he was saying, and they wanted to kind of understand why that was. I think I might know. I don't know, sir. I don't know. So don't take this as gospel, but I think I have an idea, just from a small perspective, not the whole pie, but a small part, of why that might be. One, of course, lack of education. When you're dealing with elements of ignorance, you always have to go with a lack of education. And sometimes like
what people's hair say and that's all people have to go off.
Exactly.
That's all they listen. That's their reasoning in their head when they're hearing things. But this is how they are. Right. It's like, but do you actually know that's how they are, or is that just something you've heard along the way? Is that something you've read and 100%. Factually checked, or
100%?
Did you just hear it along the way and now that's your
it becomes
overview?
Life. It becomes your life.
It becomes
your thing.
On that's your thought in that.
And do you know what that goes to? It goes to a village raises a child, So it's like, at home you could be told X, Y, and Z, but when you come out on road, sometimes a man just tells you, like, just in plain simple terms, you're just chilling out with the man. I'm not saying this is right, wrong, whatever. Chilling with the man, them on the block, whatnot. You see a girl walk past, right? Girl, they look alright, stuff. That girl, they look sexy, no blood clot. And then a man turns around and says, "Yeah, bruv, that girl, she's a hoe, bro. Like, she's just a hoe, blood. Like, enough man beat that." Just in your head, you're like, "Oh, what? Serious?" Then that just becomes fact.
That's fact. That's the fact now.
The reality was that she slept with one man who was her man. That was her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? That was her boyfriend. She spent a couple years with my man, was in love with him, realised that he was on some fuckery, left him, checking her next on, like, and now all of a sudden she's that, and we all just think that she's, you understand what I'm saying? But there's also there's also a general consensus here that I feel that is amongst a lot of people, that a lot of people are scared to discuss and talk about. There's a general consensus, yeah? And so bearing in mind, I want you to understand, I want this to be clear as well, yeah, is that when I explain the general consensus, this is not me saying that this is right. This is me just trying to understand why maybe there wasn't, like, some people didn't speak out so much. And so the general consensus, which I believe, is that a lot of people would turn around and say, yeah, Wiley's behavior was mad still. His behavior was a bit mad. Like the way that it was the quantity in his tweets.
The delivery in it, like
it was also delivery.
It was the delivery, and so the element of, and it was the element of the quality as well. So it was the element of the quality, but also the quantity of them, which was like, I'd say the quality of it outweighs like the quantity.
Because some of them were like really bad and unnecessary.
Outrageous. Yeah, some was outrageous.
Like some of them were just comments that weren't like making a point. They were just statements that were just outrageous.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, the quantity definitely has there
was a lot.
Plays a big part, because it's just like it's like a man stamping on a man. Like, 2 hard stamps don't look as bad as 10 minor stamps. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it just looks even. So with the mad quality and then a mad quantity of what he was saying, and it being going from scale from 1 to 1 million. Of like, okay, cool, some things have some kind of truth element in it and whatever, and then some things are just completely outrageous and don't even make any sense. It's like when you put it all in one pot,
it's nuts.
It's mad.
I think as well that a lot of people, when speaking from a general consensus, but remember, because I have to say, because I don't want this to ever be taken out of context. This is me trying to make an understanding. This is not me telling you that this is what I think. This is me trying to answer a question that someone actually asked me. And I'm going to read that as well. But an element of what he said, I think that there's a general consensus within some people that feel like there's a part of that is true. And the reason why, as an example of the reason why I think that some people feel that way, is purely based on the comparisons of what happens when you say something anti-Semitic and when you say something that is Islamophobic, or black racist. Do you understand what I'm saying? So to simplify it,
mad, we don't have a word, innit?
Yeah, no, innit? Yeah, exactly. We don't have a
black
phobic. We don't have a where's our phobic to offer you? Hey, where's our fucking?
I just when you just said it, I'm thinking, wait, what's the word?
Black phobic.
Black racist.
Come up with one, please. Yeah,
the black racist.
We need a phobic.
Because racist is.
Can you give me a hey? Come up. This is a task for you. You got 40 minutes. Yeah, right.
You really want to make me come up with me?
We need a white man to come up with a black phobic.
Yeah, where's our word, bro?
But yeah. So to simplify it, I think some people feel that the bar gets set up here when you speak or you say something out of line about a Jewish person. Yeah. They feel like and you know what? Let me be honest with you. I don't disagree with that, because the bar's up here. You say something that is out of line, anti-Semitic or whatever, our knees on your neck. You can't say that. It's wrong. You can't do that.
You're never getting away with it.
You're not getting away with it.
Never.
You're not, because the bar is up here. That bar is being set here. I think some people feel that when it is not that and it is this, it's a different phobic, the bar's here. Yeah. And that some people may feel that you can say something against Islam, or you could say something against a black person, and you are allowed to apologize and keep your job.
Whereas give them a chance.
We give them a chance.
Explain.
Yeah.
Let them explain what they meant. It wasn't meant like that. It was just see kind of where they were coming from.
Yeah.
They just worded it a bit wrong.
Yeah.
Like, let's not jump to conclusions.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, basically, that's
exactly that.
That's normally the case.
However, if you say something over here, you can apologize because it's up to you. You can use your thumb and you can do whatever you want to do with your thumb. But essentially, you can't. I think some people feel that you can't say something about that without feeling the full force of that punishment. So whatever that full punishment is, you're gonna feel the full force of that. And with that speaks to that element of where out of ignorance, some people discuss the power thing or whatever it may be. So for example now, again, Katie Hopkins, she's gone out and she said
the maddest things for how many years?
Blood, did you see the recent thing that she did where she's jumping up and down all over the place in the hijab and that?
Nah. Oh, for fuck's sake.
She's fucked, bro. Like, she seeks the attention in such a big way.
That's the thing as well. It's mad because obviously it's like people give her a blie because you can tell that it's for attention. Like, a lot of it is for attention. So that'd be like, oh no, don't take her too seriously. But these times what she's saying is still very much relevant. Like, it's still the same way that you would get angry at someone else saying it that wasn't seeking attention, that was just saying it one day. Is the same thing that she's doing. She's just because she's kind of painting a picture around it where she's making it look like she's being stupid or she's being over the top or being extra. That don't, like, you can't cloud your mind off that. But obviously it does. That's the thing. It does get clouded.
And the thing is, she's not on Twitter. They've banned her off Twitter and like I don't know if she was on LBC? When Nigel Farage was on LBC and they got rid of him or whatever, But it's like, look how long it takes for that removal.
Bro, how long has she been around doing whatever?
Look how
national
long.
TV. Been like, this is what I'm saying, like, allowed on national TV to say mad things like that.
So shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so there's another example actually as well, where there was a newspaper, The Sun, and they put, I think, did I take a screenshot of it? I'll tell you now. The screenshot said, never mind singing John Lennon songs, we need less Islam. That's what The Sun put
on the headline.
Okay, I know where I was going now. So I think some people may feel that if you change the word and someone said, never mind singing John Lennon songs, we need less Judaism, that some people may feel like the bar that is up here would be put into place in terms of the punishment. And so some people may feel that, you know what, it's the issue isn't so much with the bar. The issue is with, we want that. Do you get what I'm saying? When that happens, we want the same that. Treatment. We want that same thing. So again, we're speaking to that narrative, of the power thing. Katie Hopkins will go and she'll do all of these types of things or whatever it may be. Now, Wiley is like wrong for what he did, and a lot of the things that he said, as I said, was just crazy. And so he went on a rampage for, at this point, it was like under a day, and police turned up to his house. And I think some people feel as though that's it feeds into the narrative of that element of power. Now, of course, with some education, you understand that not every single Jewish person has like this power that people speak of. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a lot of people from different communities and stuff like that who, obtain a certain level of power or influence or whatever it may be. But I think that, like, for some people who feel this way, it fuels that narrative that is why it is a certain thing happens for some people and it doesn't happen for someone else, and then it makes somebody like Wiley then say, okay, you've sent X, Y, and Z to my house, this is what I'm talking about. And so now it becomes a bit dangerous because then you do see people turning around and looking at it like, oh, maybe he's right.
Yeah, they're kind of
maybe
proving,
he's right,
they're kind of proving his point.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he's right or whatnot. And the dangerous element of it also comes from how people react to a certain type of people based on the knowledge that they think that they have. So for example, now, because I feel like, you know, you think that you're better than me, or you think that you're this, when I see somebody that looks like you, I'm going to slap you in your head, or I'm going to throw something at you, or I'm going to call you a name or do X, Y, and Z. And to me, that's why that can be dangerous, because it's like, it makes people feel that way. What I want to ask is, let me read something to you first before I do that. I was having someone message me, and she asked me about like why I may feel like people didn't respond, blah blah blah, and X, Y, and Z, and we just had like a really good conversation about it. And she's Jewish, and like to respond, I wasn't going to respond to her message, but I did in the end, and I said some things. I didn't go into too much detail, but you know, she said to me, firstly, thanks so much for your response. It was really interesting hearing your opinion. I think my main concern is what you were saying was the general consensus within the UK is in agreement with Wiley's comments, and therefore explains why it didn't gain backlash from other communities. Unlike what some of your friends said, I think it's important to have an informative discussion as to why people have these anti-Semitic opinions and how we can get to the root of the issue. So, and I agree with that. I think that we should have these conversations, and there should be, you know, some dialogue between people to try to understand stuff. Because remember what I said, if that girl's a hoe and man's telling me that that's what that is in my village, then that's just what that is. And another interesting thing is that when I was thinking about having this conversation, there was a lot of people that were messaging me saying to me, Chucks, can't wait for the podcast about Wiley or blah blah blah. But then there was people that were close to me that were saying to me, Chucks, leave it alone. And so when I'm saying, why should I leave it alone? Like, why should I not have that conversation? You might ruin your bag. You might mess up your bag. And then I'm saying, okay, but then if that is the case, going by that logic, that's anti-Semitic. If I can't sit and have a conversation about something because I might ruin my bag, then that means that that's anti-Semitic. Because I'm saying, because you're essentially saying that
you can't talk about these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, so you're basically now you're doing what you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
Which is having a general consensus that if you talk about them, then you're
and I feel like everyone should be able to be opened up to unpack. I feel like that. I genuinely do. But also, with that being said, it was like, and I explained that, and then it was like, well, you know, if you go and you say something that is taken out of context, then that's everything that you've worked for is gone. Then I'm like, then it makes you think, you start playing this thing around in your head, like, should I, shouldn't I? Maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should, maybe I might lose it. And then it's like, no, but hold on, wait, no, we're just having
it's a conversation.
I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to learn, but I'm trying to make an understanding of something at the same time too. Anyway, she went on to say, and I would like to believe that the Jewish community, just like all communities, wouldn't mind there being a discussion about what happens within the community, and also talking about maybe even having somebody on, because that was my thing. I wanted to bring somebody on and eventually I will. I'm only now talking from a certain angle. I can't talk about what happens within their community because I'm not a part of it. But I would like people to feel like when something like this happens, that we should be able to have a conversation about it and not express ignorance, unless it's from a place of, this is how I thought and felt about something, and I'm starting to understand why it's not right, but I want somebody to try to explain to me why. And also I need to also address the fact that fucking my area and some certain people just taught me some wrong shit in it. But that's life, innit? Anyway, She said, sometimes there can be stereotypes of some Jews as being insular or separate from others, but there are so many different Jewish communities, and it's important to create dialogue between those who want to engage. That's definitely me. Yeah. I think it's crucial for all minorities to act against any type of racism, even if it's not directly against you. I've been saying that. Like how Jewish people support BLM. Like you, I don't agree with Katie Hopkins. I don't agree how Katie Hopkins has got away with what she has for so long. But two wrongs don't make a right. And if we can call one wrong, then I feel like we should. And so, in that, my essential, which I feel like the general consensus is that we know that the two wrongs doesn't make a right, but we need to look at them and we need to figure out like why is it that something like this can happen, but that isn't allowed to happen. It needs to
not get lost in translation, because I feel like that's what happens a lot of the time as well. Like people are like, okay, yeah, that's wrong, but this is also wrong. But then it's the most recent or the one that's had kind of the most effect generally, like at that point, which now gets taken. That's what's looked at, and by the time you're finished looking at that, the whole thing of, okay, how comes this, are we going to look at this part? And it's like, no, but we've been talking about it for too long now. Like, why are we still, let's move on from it now. And then it just gets brushed under the carpet.
100%.
And then that's what ends up happening.
So I think as well, so I've just given a small percentage of why I think that may have happened. And I feel like there's a general consensus of, which is not just black, but it's like a lot of people that feel a certain way, but some people just don't say it because they just think that, maybe I shouldn't say this because of blah, 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 blah. And no one essentially will address it. And I think that if we all think in our head privately, shit, we can't say this and we can't say that, then you quietly pass it down to the next person, you all, before you know it, it's like the elephant in the room, but no one doesn't really say nothing. Do you get me? But also I understand as well that there's deeper elements to that. There's more condition, all these different types of things that ultimately I don't know that much about. There's an article that I read which was talking about the issues between the blacks and Jewish in America, in New York. I don't know if you've ever heard of or know anything about that, but it was the article.
I do actually. I watched a video on that. It's crazy.
Okay, what did you see in it? Do you remember?
No, I don't really remember any details, to be honest.
Okay, it would the article, and I'm gonna refer to it as like, where we always say to people something to check out or whatever. But it was actually written by a Jewish person, and it was talking about like the issues between Jewish people and black people in America. One part in America in particular, where Jewish people, some Jewish people, I shouldn't say all, but some Jewish people were landlords of a building, like some buildings in a certain neighborhood or whatever, in apartments or whatever, and then like black people would charge X amount of P's for the building, white people would charge X amount of P's for the building. It was a poor area. Some black people couldn't do it. People that were, even though those Jewish people that were landlords of that building didn't own it, it was other people that owned the buildings. Essentially, it was the Jewish people that went there and sort of like went to ask for the peace. So now you're essentially shooting the messenger. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like if it's like when I get a parking ticket, right, rightly or wrongly, and the bailiff comes to the yard. So I go wild at the bailiff. But he's just the one who's come to collect the peas. These times I'm thinking about digging a hole in the back of my yard and all of these type of things because I want this to go away. Do you get me? But really, he's just come to do his job. I still don't like bailiffs. But but yeah, anyway, I done bare talking in that, So I wanted to ask you lot, just from your own just thing, like just to discuss it, Like, firstly, how does Wiley come back from this, and does he? Do you feel like Wiley can come back from this?
Come back in what sense? Like, as in,
take it however you want.
I don't know. I don't see him. I don't know how much popularity is lost within the place where he was most recognized with what he said. So when we even say come back, has he even really gone from the place where he was most recognized in general, like definitely nowadays? Like obviously I see the thing where he's just like, I saw a clip of that Sky interview or whatever where he was apologising or whatever it was, where they went to talk to him, and he's just like talking about when he mentioned something about the fans, where he was like, "What do you say to the guy was asking him, what do you say to your fans?" And he's like, "What do you want fans? Fans are fickle. Like I know I'm not Dave. Like I'm 41. Like people I don't have. I'm not relevant right now. This is what I'm saying. Like so where come back in that sense. This is what I mean. I wouldn't necessarily say he's gone in that sense from where he was. I just think he's brought attention to himself from another sense of community or people in places or whatever, which he's possibly will never be able to go anymore if he wanted to. Whether or not he wanted to, whether or not that's where he was aiming to be, whether or not he knew that I'm not trying to go there anyway, so I don't care what his reasoning was. Obviously only he knows, innit? But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say. That's what I mean. I don't know if I would say he's coming back. If there's anything from like, if it's even the right thing to say, does he come back from it? Because I would say, has he? Obviously, he's lost his socials, but how much is he coming back from? If people that recognize him the most, obviously still recognize him. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? They haven't. Has anyone? Obviously, I think I've seen a few people tweet or like put comments where they're like, obviously, like, yeah, Wiley, you went a bit mad with this one, or
there's definitely, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of people that seem as though they've lost a lot of respect for him.
Yeah,
like, that were not Jewish.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and so I don't know how that translates. I don't know, like when we talk about cancel culture and stuff like that, I always say to some people that like, you can't cancel somebody that you wasn't emotionally and physically invested in.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? If you wasn't emotionally invested in them, then like you can say, I don't fuck with you anymore. You didn't buy the music. Yeah, but you didn't really. You wasn't going to the shows.
Yeah, exactly.
It means nothing to you.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I say. Like when you say come back, it's like, has he lost? Obviously, yeah. There's people that are going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, you went a bit mad. That's mad. I'm not really messing with that. I don't deal with that. But were those people really, like what you said, invested in him before this? Yeah. Or did they just know who he was? Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Callum, what do you think?
Honestly, exactly the same as what I was thinking. I don't know how much popularity he's necessarily lost in the place that he was most popular. He's definitely fucked up the bag for himself a little bit. 100%.
To where he was going, obviously he was having his resurgence. Like, obviously Wiley's always been relevant within our culture, to do with whether it be from his music, from him being involved in someone else's move, from him having the clashes or having something to say about someone else, or just being vocally loud about everything that's going on. Like, obviously, and then he was having his kind of little resurgence with his music side of stuff, where I would say he was starting to seem like he was kind of picking back up to
he looked place. Comfortable, innit?
Yeah, like where he wasn't. That's what I say. Where if you ever thought he was going to do something like this, it probably would have been a few years ago. Yeah. Rather than right now. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, with the John Wolfe thing, that's nothing new. But I'm going to get into that in a bit.
Do we know what brought this on?
I'm going to go into that in a bit.
Yeah,
I think.
Right.
Do you think that does this ruin his legacy?
To an extent, I think so. Yeah.
Talk on it.
I don't really know what to say more than that. Really, I just don't. I certainly don't look at him the same way. I don't so much look up to him anymore, and I feel like there's quite a lot of people that won't look at him in the same way as they did a month ago.
I think it definitely taints his legacy.
Yeah.
Like, obviously to a point where, obviously, this is what I mean. Like, and I think at a time like this as well, at a time that we're all in, like, this probably will be remembered more so than other things that after a few years are forgotten, and it takes, oh yeah, Raj, remember that? Like, oh yeah, that happened. This one might kind of stay with him.
Yeah, I hate that.
Do you know what the thing is? I just thought about this now.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, it does taint the legacy, But I think that there's a possibility that in years down the line, there will be no excusing the fact of like some of the outrageous things that he said that was just majorly inaccurate. But by him doing that, it allows I say this without even trying to disrespect him, but like, you know, like that sensible side of conversation where it's like, you know what, let's talk about this.
Yeah, he's open. His ignorance has kind of opened the door to a sensible conversation.
Yeah, let's actually talk about that, because you know what, some of the things that he said was crazy.
Yeah.
But some of the things that he said, for some people, may have felt like, I can't even lie.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
This is not even something that is like, I mean, he was something.
Some people even felt it.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Some people have felt how he's felt.
Yeah.
What he said.
So let's have a conversation about it, and let's talk about it and see, like, let's explore it and see, like, like, are we bugging out?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Are we doing this whole, like, is there actually substance to this?
Yeah.
Or is this we're doing this whole thing of you're painting every single person with the same brush.
Yeah.
Do you get me? And like, that never ends well.
Yeah.
When I watched the Sky News thing, he said something that I thought was a little interesting, yeah, which I think would have possibly made his life a tiny bit easier had he have articulated himself better.
Yeah.
Because he's now talking about his own experience, and this is what he said.
Do you think you should be allowed to stay on social media? If they took me off as...
Oh no, this isn't it, sorry.
Do you understand why your comments about Jewish people has caused a lot of offence?
I understand, yes, because maybe I didn't remove the ignorance from the truths where I was speaking about the Jewish community within music business that I have worked with for the last 20 years.
Do you understand why?
So like, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Suddenly he's made it more specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, when you listen to that, you start to see this is a person who has had isolated incidences with some people who happen to be from a certain place. Yeah. And he's felt wronged by some of that. And in that is now a whole thing of it's all of you. Yeah. So then, like, his relationship with John Wolfe, I've said so many times on this podcast, Callum will be attest to this, but even before Callum was on board, I've always said I wanted to have a conversation with John Wolfe.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a conversation. When I did the podcast with Benny Scars, where he was talking to people from behind the scenes and that, John Wolfe was high on my list, because I always wanted to understand what it would be like, or what it is like to manage someone like Wiley, but also understanding that, like, a managerial relationship is that it's a relationship.
It's not necessarily just a working relationship.
No, it's a relationship. It's a relationship. You're dealing with all aspects of that person's life, and then seeing and speaking to them in all dimensions of your mood. You understand what I'm saying? And just like normal relationships, you have nice relationships. You know what I'm saying? Relationship nice and blossom and that. Then you have relationships where you have the ups and downs, and then you have the relationships where they're just toxic. And I've seen, let me tell you something, I've seen that one. I've seen the artist manager, toxic, abusive relationship. And that in itself is, you have to be strategical in a different degree to be strategic. Sorry. Oh, thanks, Callum. To deal with a mind that is like that. And so, if you've been following Wiley for a long time, especially on social media, you'll know that their relationship has always been a bit...
it's rocky.
They've always had a bit of a rocky one. It's not that I've ever seen John Wolfe come out on social media and say X, Y, and Z. Sometimes you see Wiley, wiling out on Twitter, but you have to be clear in this, Sometimes, this is not me saying that John Wolfe has done anything wrong, by the way, but sometimes when you see the person wiling out and that, they're not always crazy. They're not always. I'll give you a great example of the time where two of my cousins was had an issue, and one of my cousins was quietly talking to my other cousin, and my other cousin wiled out. Yeah, he wiled out, and he left the yard, slammed the door, and now we just know him to be like that.
Yeah,
do you get here we go, he's like that again. But you know, I heard the conversation.
Yeah.
The quiet one was antagonizing, and now
it deserved that reaction.
It deserved that, but nobody heard it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So, like, I've always been curious just to understand what that is, innit?
Yeah.
But also with that, Wiley's had experiences with certain types of people within the music industry, and felt some type of way about it. We had a conversation. Remember, you know, Poets doing the One Poe show. He had a conversation with Wiley, and that conversation actually was about, how long was that conversation?
It was hour and 40 minutes in total.
It was an hour and 40 minutes because I was in the conversation. Yeah. And I questioned him about a lot of things in that. It's unfortunate that people don't get to see this, yeah. But I questioned him about a lot of things.
They can see it at some point.
Maybe, yeah, because the thing is, it's about context now. Because some of the stuff, if he's made up with certain people, I questioned him. Yeah. But he did actually emphasize the fact that I'm not, because I pointed out inconsistency. I said, you're saying this, but you are doing that. And to which he was like, well, you know what? I don't work with John. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't work with him anymore. And you know, like, I heard that and I'm like, I've heard that before, bro. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? But this one, it felt like when he did this on social media, to me now, I'm looking at it like, oh, he means this.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't, like, the Jewish community seem like they are getting the, what do you call it? It's like the shrapnel. You know when you bust a shot?
Yeah, they're getting
the collateral damage. Yeah. Because he's don't like this guy.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? See, when I don't, you know, when you get that, you know, when you get like, I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship with somebody, yeah, like a girl or whatnot, yeah, and you've done her some type of wrong, whatever it may be, and now she's trying to say everything to piss you off.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? She wants you to jump in a whip and drive down there. Do you get what I'm saying? When I'm watching that, I'm like, I can see that is what, like, that's what it seems like he's trying to do. Should we take Wiley's mental health into consideration?
I think to an extent you have to, like, because you can't cancel it out. You can't cancel it. You can't bring it up in certain arguments and then cancel it out in certain arguments. It has, like what you said, consistency is consistency. It's got to stay consistent. Your argument's got to stay consistent. Everything's got to stay consistent. No matter what it's to do with, it's got to stay consistent within everything. Whether or not it's going to be used as an excuse, or if it's going to be, you're going to put too much emphasis on it and this is why or whatever, that's then to be resolved. But you can't eliminate it from the conversation, because obviously his mental state has always been a dialogue basically for everyone.
It's always been in question.
Yeah, it's always been in question. Like, mentally, Wiley, like, he has these times where he goes absolutely off the rails, and that's not just a personality trait. That's mentally, you can see there's something that pushes him to go that far. So you can't. I don't think you can. You definitely can't dismiss it.
Callum, what are you saying?
I hate to agree again, but yeah, I do agree. I think it definitely, you have to consider it to some extent. But where I don't know how much you can consider it is because we don't know the extent of his mental health issues. It is difficult for us to sit here and say, oh, he's but this, but that, because at the end of the day, we actually don't know. It could be a lot more serious, or it could be less serious than we think.
Obviously that's the thin line. Obviously, that's what I say, is where or not how much you use that his mental state argument in how much it really had to do with what he was saying and what happened and what not and blah blah blah. Whether or not it's to do with certain element of it, it's to do with maybe his delivery, or it's to do with the quantity of how much he done it, because he's stuck in that place and he's unable to remove himself from that place even after saying certain things and realizing, okay, I've done too much now, like, let me stop. That's where the hard balance is. And obviously But you can't eliminate. You can't just eliminate it, saying obviously, but no matter what, it was
can't
wrong.
Ignore it,
No matter what, it was wrong. So it doesn't matter what his mental state is. Like people like to do that. This is what I'm saying. People like, it's like it's a hypocritical thing where people do when it's against them or when it's against their favor of argument. But then when it's not, it's like, oh no, but he's not all there. He's got this issue and blah blah blah. When it's something that's obviously not too bad or not too offensive or whatever it is. So you have to stay consistent with that. That has to be in question.
The thing is, though, this reached out to such a big demographic of people that there's like a lot of people don't know Wiley like how we know Wiley.
Yeah, that's
my dad commented on it to me on the phone the other day.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is it there?
What did he say?
Oh, this Wiley chat.
Nah, because he knows
This
of
William.
him.
Yeah, this William.
This
But like,
grime folk.
it was more from a perspective of like, because I've worked with him recently.
Yeah.
I've taken some photos at a few of his video shoots. Dad was like, all right, so you still gonna work with him?
Yeah, oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. That's a good question. But you're right. It's reached a huge amount.
Yeah,
of
this
people.
is the thing. Obviously,
That's what I was saying.
That's what I was saying about like him. The question about him coming back. It's like obviously the reason why I wouldn't say he's necessarily lost where he was is because people know, the people which recognize him the most know Wiley, know his mental state, know his crazy erratic crazy times which they won't take as much offense as maybe as they should from it. They might belie it more, even though this one is definitely harsher and it's been the most harsh thing that he's probably ever done, and it shouldn't be blind because of the consistent times that he's had it throughout the years. That circle of people might even take it on the chin a bit more than they should. While then there's the others where you're saying obviously it's reached mad people that have no idea. All they know is this. The only thing they've seen of him is Wiley, musician, bossy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's it. And it's just, this has come out of, that's where it's come out of. It's come out of nowhere.
100. Did banning him that quickly off Instagram, I think he's banned on Twitter, and I think he's banned on Facebook as well, yeah. Did banning him that quickly, alongside potentially the police coming to his house that quickly, did it give his argument any substance to some people's way of understanding what they believe is going on, if that makes sense?
No, explain that.
Okay, so
did it help validate what he was saying?
Yes. Did that help validate what he was saying?
Yes, I think so. Absolutely. Because there's examples of other people that you've already mentioned before, like Katie Hopkins and Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robbins, or I don't know. Robinson, yeah. Like they're spouting shit day in day out for years, and nothing comes close to this. Like they don't have any repercussions. It took them so long to ban Katie Hopkins from fucking Twitter. Yeah, he gets a temporary ban within like a day, and police at his door within 24 hours. That says a lot.
I think part of it's definitely bad timing, because obviously they have been on this banning thing now because they banned Katie Hopkins. True. Obviously they've
Possibly.
Instagram and Twitter, and they've had to react straight away now.
Very true. There's actually been a lot of conversation about like how like social media sort of relegate hate speech and stuff.
That's been a very big part through the whole Black Lives Matter and through everything that's been going on and the hatred and all of this stuff and all that. There's been that's been the main talk, where I feel like for the last few years it hasn't been. Although it's been a problem that people have spoken about, it hasn't been the big discussion. It's been over the last few months.
Yeah.
So it is bad timing in that way for Instagram and Facebook and whatnot to say, okay, boom, they've got to do it immediately. So you can't really put too much on, okay, this kind of validates what he says, because there's also that argument like where, well, boom, they've just banned Katie Hopkins. You can't then say, oh, because it took them 2 years to ban Katie Hopkins, or whatever, they must now wait 2 years because Wiley's just said something. This is the first thing he said, and they need to wait. They're gonna have to act on it. Did you get what I'm saying? They're gonna have to act on it straight away. Like, that's what they're gonna have to.
I hear that.
So you can't really put it too much on that. But I think the police thing
that says a lot.
100%
that
says a lot. That says way more than the banning.
I agree.
That says way more than the banning in that sense of stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel like it should be wrong to discuss that. I don't feel like it should be. I don't feel like it should be a bad thing to try to understand it and to unpack it. And I really hope that, like, in this conversation that we've had today, that that we haven't offended anyone, and I hope that, like, at some point there's going to be more things that I'm going to learn from people directly, because you know me anyway, I'm a curious person, bro. I'll sit and fucking have a conversation with a cat about how cats bro, let me tell you something. See, on my street, there's cat beef. I swear on my mum's life, there's cat gang warfare outside. After 12:30 at night, bro, these cats are going fucking crazy.
Ops on the block.
Is it?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
Ops on the block,
bro. Look, like one moment, there was just bare cats on there and whatnot. Next minute, they're all divided. And then next minute, there's one cat with one leg. Then, bro, you see one cat hopping. I found one cat half dead in my bush not that long ago. Bro, these cats are going mad. There's cat gang warfare around there and that still. But yeah, man. It's an interesting time. Someone asked me, bring Wiley on the podcast to have a discussion about it or whatnot. And I'm like, listen, man, honestly, like, Wiley knows where I am. He's always welcome to have a conversation with me. We had one. Yeah. You know, it didn't come out, but like, he's always welcome. The thing is, Wiley is always the great thing about Wiley, I would say, is that he is a free spirit and that he will always do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Yeah. Do you get me? So if he decides that tomorrow he wants to go and he wants to do that, and then he's going to go and do that. If he says today that he's going to do this in a couple of days, and a couple of days comes and he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, like, one day you'll see him here having a conversation, talking about some stuff, but I don't know when that's going to be. The Guardian.
Yeah, explain that to me, because I don't really understand what actually happened there.
Yeah, what happened?
And for anyone listening who doesn't know, explain what happened.
So The Guardian, there was a writer for The Guardian who was writing about systemic racism.
Oh God, this is a good one. Let me set up for this.
He was writing about it, in the context of what Wiley was saying. Yeah. Instead of having a picture of Wiley,
I think I see this.
They had a picture of Kano.
I thought that was it. Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened.
And I was reading the comments underneath it. See, when Kano posted it, I was reading the comments underneath it, and I saw people say, "Joke thing." In my head, my response to that was, "It's not."
No,
they've been doing that.
They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Someone else said, "I can't believe it." My response to that was, I can. I can. I'm not surprised. Yeah. And let me tell you something. This guy said, I don't do that. I didn't, I don't clear the pictures and all of that type of stuff. But the thing is, my thing with that is, all right, maybe he doesn't, innit? And maybe that's just how the thing goes. This is what I want everyone to do. Go onto Google right now.
I've just done it.
And type Wiley. And go to images.
I'm on that now.
You don't even see Joe Wiley. You don't even see the big Ross Clark presenter on BBC. What's that? Joe Riley, her name is, right? Yeah. You don't even see her. Or you got to keep scrolling down. You got to keep doing that. This is what you got to keep doing. This. That. You got to do that. Bare times to see a face that is like not him. You know, like you see faces that are like, you might see Wiley and Stormzy, or Wiley and this person, or
there's plenty of Wiley with other people.
But to see somebody else's face, Slick, do you know how many times you've got to do this motion with your fucking thumb?
To see,
It's so ironic.
The mad thing is that I'm scrolling through his pictures, and there's a few pictures on here that I've taken, but the ironic thing is they were used by the Guardian. So they know exactly what his face looks like.
Yeah, there you go.
But this is what I mean, like, bruv, this whole discussion. This is, I've still got my Twitter, but I'd literally probably scroll through once a month, twice a month, if that, because I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't know if people are just being idiotic, if they're just being, they're just bored. They're just literally, they're still just completely oblivious that all of these things are clickbait. Like, that was not done by mistake.
Nope.
It was done on purpose. They've been doing it on purpose for how long now? So exactly what happens, and people keep doing it and keep feeding into it. So why do you think they keep doing it? It, like, I don't understand. It's just like, it's like the whole, like, biting your fingernails when you was little, and your mum would be like, stop biting them, then you put pepper on your nails, and then it's like, okay, then you're gonna stop biting them, but then you still bite them, and it's like, okay, what's it gonna take for people to realize that stop feeding into what they're doing, because they're doing it on purpose, that it's not a mistake. It's been past that now. Like, I literally refuse to believe that any of these pictures that they get wrong are a mistake. Like, it's impossible. Like, you can't tell me, like, I don't care. Like, you can't tell me that, because I don't care. Like, there's nothing you can tell me, bro. It's not a mistake. It's on purpose, because you know exactly what that's going to do.
Yeah.
Now your article has now got the steamroll that you needed it to get.
Yeah.
Because now everyone,
You got your clicks.
Did you see what Guardian, well, we're doing it right now.
It's a dead click though. But it's a dead click.
It doesn't matter. A click is a click.
Click is money. End of.
A click is a click.
That's, you know what?
Doesn't matter who clicks it.
A click is money.
Bruv, that's what it is.
Bro, I am pages and pages down, and there's no one other than Wiley on this.
Bruv, you don't even have to, this is what I mean. I don't even have to scroll. It wasn't a mistake. It isn't a mistake. It's never a mistake. Like, it's not.
Don't even have the same fucking beard.
Bruv, it's not.
Don't piss me off.
Bruv, it's just fucking,
Yeah?
It's so dumb.
Kano has a 0.5 on the top.
Top of his head.
Yeah?
I love how that's what's pissing you off right now.
Wiley has a
They
2.
don't even have a beard.
Don't get on my nerves. Yeah? Anyway, I did a gangster rap documentary. And one of the places that I went to, this might be obviously very controversial for a lot of people, especially Wiley. Where I went to Israel, and I did I documented something with a black Jewish guy named Nassim Black, and honestly, I went out there not particularly understanding too much of, at the time, the issues that they had over there, like the political issues and stuff like that. I'm still trying to learn more from it, but honestly, to be honest with you, it was one of the most interesting times of my life, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, going to Jerusalem and like seeing like some of the stuff that I saw and whatnot, and spending that time with Nassim Black as well. It was, I know that like some of the people that have seen those documentaries will see the Poland one, or even the island one, and see like how crazy it was and whatever. And like the Poland one was probably one of the craziest times of my whole life.
Looked dumb crazy.
It was the craziest time of my whole life, probably. But that one there, being with Nassim Black, was probably one of the most interesting times of my life. And I know that some people disagree with the whole idea of that, but yeah, I went there to film a black guy who essentially is American and moved out there with his best friend and his missus and his best friend's missus. I think they're sisters as well.
Yeah.
And they converted to Judaism, and it was very different, man. Slick, I never told you this, but now when we finish the podcast, we always say like, what is one thing that you want people to see? Like, what is one thing that you want people to, it can be an Instagram post, it could be a fucking, it could be a brand, it could be a tweet, it could be it could be anything in the world, bro. Like, it could be a document, it could be a film, it could be anything. What is one thing that you want people to, it could be a party.
What's it interesting?
Anything. Do you want me to just say mine while you think of one?
Yeah, go on.
Alright, so what I want people to do is, the Observer wrote an article called The Music Industry's Long History of Dividing Blacks and Jews. Yeah, it was written in 2017 by a Jewish person as well. Yeah, so if you Google it will definitely come up. The music industry's long history of dividing blacks and Jews, and it's by the Observer, and it's by Justin Joffrey or something like that. Hopefully, like, I said that correctly, and I didn't upset him because I said his name wrong. Do you know what I mean? You got anything, bro? I know this one's a bit of a deep one, so don't feel like, you know what I mean, bro. You get what I'm saying? It could be, bro, Netflix.
Yeah, go.
Bro, Netflix, is there anything out? You get what I'm saying? Man could just say that. There's a new document. Yeah, anything, bro, anything. You got one?
Yeah.
Go on. Is it a deep one?
Nah.
Has it got something to do with what we was talking about?
No.
Cool. Because then I was gonna say, if so, let him say his thing, because I don't want him to feel under pressure.
He's gonna say something to do.
Yeah, you might say, yo, check out that Jewish Palestinian. You get what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna do that to you. I was just gonna say, go check out the launch of the Afrobeats UK charts.
Oh yeah.
On BBC Sounds. There's a visual drop in hopefully tomorrow.
Who did the visual?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Who did the visual?
Tell him.
Huh? Damn no, bro.
I did the visual.
Oh, come on, my G. Yeah? Big Callum.
Come on.
Big effing Callum, yeah?
Rooftop Callum.
Filming.
Rooftop Callum.
Yeah, rooftop. Yeah, rooftop Callum. Yeah, apartments. Yeah? Come on. All visuals, but when you see me, other than Vice Ting and maybe JD and that, but everything else is Callum, yeah?
Apart from the 5 other things I do.
Apart from everything else I do.
Listen, let me tell you something. You see, when the big check comes in, I do that. He eats. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Come on. Sorry, anyway.
But yeah, check out the show, because like it's a big step for like Afrobeats music in the UK.
Yeah, man.
To be fair, the only thing that it's just something I've been watching, the Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix.
Oh, bruv, man's been watching that.
Oh, the Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Check it out.
Yeah, yeah,
that is just.
yeah.
There's so much elements to some of those stories. Oh my gosh.
Have you finished all of them?
Huh? No, not all of them.
Have you seen the one in Italy? With the body, with the family.
Oh, that one? Oh, yes.
Mad!
That's the one.
What's this?
That's the one. That is definitely a one that people need to see.
Explain to what happened.
In Italy, there was a family. He's a what do they call them? Aristocrat? No.
Aristocrat.
Yeah. Like he's come from
money.
Aristocrat.
Yeah,
whatever. Like he's whatever that, and his family, they were living in. Was it Italy or France? France.
That might be Italy actually.
No, do you know,
I don't want to generalize like that.
It was. We talking about the family one.
The one where they found when they went in the yard. Yeah, the garden. And then when they went in the yard.
It was France. I'm sure it was France.
France or Italy.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, because I don't want to on a generalization thing.
I'm sure it was France. Wait, quickly.
Like, it might have been Italy, you know. Do you know why I think it might be Italy?
Why?
Because isn't it in Italy where they usually have the blinds, or is that France? On the houses, I'm sure it's Italy.
Well,
it's Italy. It's Italy.
On the outside.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, you know, like. Yeah,
the shutters on the outside of windows.
Yes,
that
and they usually have the
Italian, but I'm sure they do have it in.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but like
it's typically a more Italian.
No, it's France. It's France.
Was it?
He's
Definitely
from France. Yeah, Xavier.
Sorry,
Xavier.
You try, you reach.
Sorry, jeez.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I was thinking. I'm sure it was definitely France.
Go on anyway.
French. Oh yeah. So anyway, he's got his family. He's got his family. Him, his wife. Was it 4 kids?
Yeah, 4 kids. Yeah.
4 kids. One of them was from
another man.
was the mum's another man.
Previous.
Yeah. And whatever. Then They go, what, bruv? I don't want to explain it without like telling too much of like.
I'll just say elements of it. Yeah. Boom. Now I'm saying certain things.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine now they've disappeared basically.
Yeah, they've disappeared.
Whole family gone.
Whole family's gone. Yeah?
They've been known there. They've lived there for years. Everyone knows them. Obviously, this guy's
the shutters were down as well, and that's why people thought it was a bit
it was weird,
ordinary. Police went there now. The police kept going there every day.
Every day they kept going there.
Actually, did they go in the house straight away? I don't know if they went in the house straight away.
I think they went there once.
They went there once. When they went in the yard, they didn't see anything out of the ordinary other than the fact that all the pictures in the frame had gone. So the pictures were still there. Yeah. No, the frames were still there, but there was no pictures. Yeah.
They were going back every day for like 5 days or 6 days.
This sounds really familiar.
Every day
they were going there. They were in the house, like kept going there.
But didn't they get a letter? There was a letter that went to the yard that was basically saying, look, the family's gone to do something for the Americans.
I think that was, they found out after. I think he sent a letter.
You can hit the punchline. You're gonna hit them in the punchline.
Yeah, there was a letter. I think you've just let it loose. What?
Wait. Dave, someone said.
I don't think you can even. If you haven't seen it, you'll never ever think that.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts.
You're never gonna.
Well, the dad's still alive. Clearly,
no, you're never gonna think.
But it's mad.
It's mad.
It's crazy.
That's why it's unsolved.
They basically find the body. They find the bodies tidily underneath, like some part
of the wife and kids.
Of all the kids, yeah. Other than one
kid who's buried somewhere different.
Yeah, I think I know what you're on about. I think
it's nuts.
It was a big thing. It was a big thing. So obviously, if you remember it, when
I'll just say that
it was years ago. And then
so I'll just say the ending. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. Listen, yeah. Boom. So the dad now, they say like the dad's gone. They've realized the dad's gone to like a fucking. He's gone.
The dad's been getting traced. Like so, they're tracing the dad's credit card.
And that.
He's using his cards. Like even though he's on the run. Basically, they think he's on the run.
How long ago was
this?
On the
run.
This was not even that. Was it? It wasn't even that long ago. I don't think.
I don't know. It was. It was quite a while ago.
Okay. Yeah. I just heard credit.
So then, boom. Yeah. So he's like gone getting coffees and all these type of things.
And he's using his cards. So obviously, man are thinking.
But he's still got the big
4.5. They've known him to have this big gun that he's
he's got the big 4.5 on him still. Yeah. So then now. But it's in a bag. He's walking around with the bag. They even said, they didn't show the footage though, but they said that he like waved at a camera.
He walked past the camera, yeah.
And then he went into some bushes, and they've never seen him again.
Oh.
They thought that he might have committed suicide or whatever. They've gone through the whole thing.
Going into a bush.
Into a bush with the big 4.5.
Forest, they haven't found anything.
All now. Crazy.
And there's like bare elements to it because there's like, he was with the wife at first, then when they weren't married yet.
No.
When they were like boyfriend and girlfriend, and then they broke up because he wanted to go traveling. Then he went traveling, and then came back. He was doing bare traveling, he done some stuff in America or whatever, came back and then got back with the wife. Obviously the wife's had a kid now. They've obviously got married, they've started their family. And then there's a letter that's been sent around to the family just before all this happened saying that they're going to work for the CIA or drug thing in America. Oh, bruv, it's mad.
Yeah, sick.
It's mad.
It's sick.
It's so much elements to it. Do you think that he's alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's alive somewhere. I think he's grown out the beard, done all that stuff and whatnot. He's living in a remote place somewhere, just doing his thing. I don't know, but he's managed to get away with it.
I was saying they were pushing it like, obviously, like he must.
Do you know what? He might have died actually.
But this is what I'm saying. They were pushing it like he must be alive. But then where it was, obviously they were talking about, obviously he could have got a boat because the coast was there. He could have gone here or whatever, and blah blah blah, from where he went off into the bushes.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he could have committed suicide in the ocean, and they would never.
That's
find
very
anything.
True, actually.
So like,
that's true.
He could have done that also.
Or sometimes, you know what? Yeah, you could change your identity, go to a different country, and die under that identity.
Yeah. So you still did.
Yeah. So then now on your stone it says David Thomas.
Yeah.
When in these terms and names, Timothy Jerome. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I've been watching those ones are mad. There's some mad stories. There's some mad stories in there.
What else have I been watching on Netflix? I was watching the Italian mafia thing.
I want to watch the New York.
Was it the New York thing? Yeah, that man was on some thing, man. Like these lot, I shouldn't say these lot, but like
he's so sensitive about generalizing people now.
But like a section of the Italian lot, they were doing their these lot were doing their their operations that they were running was fucking crazy. But elements of their thinking was like quite honourable, because it was like, you can't sleep with a man's missus, you can't do man's wife, and all these type of things. And it was like you had to take an oath to be a part of this life and family and all kinds of shit, bro. It's fucking, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
And I feel like I've been watching one more thing. Oh, do you know what I've been watching?
Go on.
I finished it now.
What?
The Act on Amazon Prime. Have you seen that?
Nah.
What?
What's the act?
Big fucking documentary, this one, bro.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Energy change.
Bam. Before we go, I gotta talk about this. Big up to all those who've seen The Act, yeah? Basically, it's about a mum who made her daughter believe that she had leukemia and bare different diseases and that, yeah? And made her believe that she couldn't walk. Bruv, the daughter was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, shaved off all her
time.
hair. Just kept shaving off all her hair. Do you know what it is, yeah? She made her do all of this, claiming all these benefits, doing charities, all of these different types of things, yeah? Like, the daughter was all in a wheelchair and that. Like, just thought, like, she just thought she was sick.
Yeah.
But also she was being, like, the mum was giving her bare medication that was still fucking her up and all kinds of shit, yeah? And so, like, the daughter at one point realised that she could walk and stuff, but it's still, like, it was upsetting her mum and all these type of things. So her mum would, like, tie her to the bed and all these different types of shits, yeah?
There's a term for that. I fucking forgot.
It's called Munchausen.
Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah. Oh, Callum's like, look.
How do you know these?
Hey,
these
you see if I'm
random facts.
Listen, if I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, phone a friend, it's either my Uncle Peter or Callum, yeah? Fucking, what was it? Apartments, was it? What? Rooftop Callum. You get what I'm saying, yeah? So anyway, yeah. I'll get you, because as you know, I know what it is, but as you know what it is, I'm going to get you to explain what that actually is.
Yeah.
But anyway, boom, so the mum's doing all that stuff. Cut a long story short, because I don't want to get it. It's based on a true story, by the way. This is real.
It's based on a true story.
Yeah.
Okay.
The girl,
I thought this was a documentary.
it's no, so there is a documentary about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
there's
the act
It's
isn't a
actual-
documentary.
Isn't a documentary.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so I would say watch that and then watch the documentary, because I watched the documentary afterwards, and the documentary is even crazier than the actual thing. But anyway, now the daughter ends up like realizing that she wasn't born at this particular time and all of these type of things, and the mum's doing the most. She ends up meeting a boy. The girl like ends up getting a laptop, meeting a boy, whatever. And to cut a long story short, they conspire to kill the mum. They end up killing the mum. I'm actually not even giving you the actual, like, giving away the storylines by telling you this, but there's so much to it, bruv. It's actually crazy. And then the documentary, I should have saved that till next week for you lot to go and watch that, but still, the act,
Wild.
mad.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Crazy.
Do you remember what the documentary is called?
It's called Revenge Gypsy, or Gypsy's Revenge. It's on YouTube. You see, after I watched The Act on Amazon, I binge watched that because there's 8 episodes. Yeah, they're about an hour each.
Christ.
I watched that in like 2 days. Yeah. Then I went and watched the Ras Clark documentary the next day. Then I watched all of the police interrogation and that, when they had them in the
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I watched all of that. What? I watched the whole fucking thing.
YouTube has everything.
And actually, I'm not gonna. Fuck it. Gypsy comes out in around 5 years' time and that, and I want her on the podcast. Can't lie. Fuck it, bro. Bring her on the podcast, innit?
That's mad.
But yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation today. Still, answer those questions. I will be reading them. And again, teach me. Yeah? Teach me. Like, show me something. I want to, like, make an understanding or whatever. If you feel that there's a person that should come and have a conversation with me, feel free to let me know. But I'm going to go with, the person who I keep seeing pop up. Yeah? Or just maybe with my gut and my vibe and all of these type of things. Yeah.
But Wiley, do you think you should be allowed to stay on social media?
If they took me off of social media, there's going to be a load of other people they need to take too. And
Thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah, it's cool. Slick, love for coming, by the way, because obviously I didn't say that, but love for coming, bro.
Love.
Obviously,
Always.
you know, you're always welcome to just come and just fucking chill with the man them or whatever. So
Yeah.
how many times you been in now? About
No,
this
5.
Oh, is it? Yeah?
5?
Man, come on, friend of the show now,
Yeah.
bro. Properly, innit? Like that.
Yeah, I think
Love.
5. I think maybe 5.
Love.
Speak up.